Frank.
Hey, Denny, how are you?
Good.
Hey,
Boy,
I got
yeah.
a quick question for you.
What's up?
How did a mug like you ever get such a beautiful wife?
What are you talking about?
I know who your wife is.
Did you ask her the same question?
No, I never asked her.
Well, it's all about having conversations and asking great questions, Frank.
Okay.
You can fool anybody.
I figured you'd have an answer like that or something.
So you've been quiet the last couple of days. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I'm just trying to encourage other people to talk a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Sandra, twice in one day.
No, I know. It's a new record. Have you missed me?
Much. I was going to call you, see how you're doing.
Oh, really? Well, now you've missed your opportunity. Dang. You can call me anytime.
Susan!
Good morning.
Wow, look at all these people. All these Otterbots. Well, do we have?
They plugged you yesterday in bold.
I'm sorry?
I said they plugged you yesterday in bold.
Who, Eddie?
Uh-huh. Yeah. You're
Wow.
actually in the bold. You're actually in the bold book now.
Oh,
I
really?
should probably knew that.
You know about Recon?
Yeah.
How is Eddie? He's new. I don't know him well.
It's good. It's been really good. You know, a lot of young realtors in the group. A lot. So it's been good.
Well, here we go, you guys. I don't see Louise yet. However, I'll do my best. Welcome everybody. Denny Grimes here. It's a Mastery of Real Estate on Friday edition. We're doing mastery level role play. If you need to get a hold of me, have any questions whatsoever, Coach Denny Grimes at Gmail, and I'll let people in. And as you know, in our practice, the technique we use is question-based listening, enhanced conversations. And you know what? When you're out and about, don't you wish people listen better? I'm amazed that people don't listen. So anyway, we're going to work on that. Today is May 3rd, 2024, and it is Friday, and we're going to get into role play. One of the things I want to share with you, most of you guys are on Recon. Recon is a daily call that we have from 8:30 to 9 Central Time. That, by the way, is the corrected QR code. That will allow you to sign up rather than taking you right to the Zoom call. So please share that. Monday, we have a guest star, Monica Reynolds, who is a awesome agent and in that conversation. So if you haven't been, pop on. That'll be on Monday. And of course, you guys have this. So I don't have I don't see Louise yet. So I'm going to do this by myself. Sandra, you might help me out a little bit. If you want to participate, I know you do, raise your hand and we'll work on some role plays together. If you'd like to be the seller or buyer, just raise your thumb up. You've got at the bottom of your page some reactions. And this video will be posted on my YouTube channel. Now, I think somewhere I have the thought of the day. If I did this right, I have a new conversation for you that you might want to think about. I was on a MAPS call, a bold call a little bit ago, and one of my coaches came up with this, and this is a great conversation starter. I'm going to throw it out there. How about an idea for a sphere call? I don't know if you can read that. Let me drop my desk just a little bit. I'll read it for you. Hi, so-and-so, thanks for taking my call. The first part's kind of like my normal call. Hey, there's two reasons for my call. The first is to ask how you're doing. So you're going to have a conversation. You want to update your database. Sandra, you did a great job with a demonstration of that today. Here's the second part. This is what I want your opinion on. The second is I'm doing an informal survey of what people are hearing about the real estate market. So let me ask, what are you hearing about the current real estate market? So that's the question. Again, it's going to get them talking about real estate. It's going to reaffirm in their mind that you are in real estate. and you're just seeking opinion, no right or wrong, then you may be able to continue that conversation, ask if they happen to know anyone. How do you guys like that? Do you think it's worth, working on, maybe polishing? What do you think about that question in your sphere?
Well, I've actually used that and asked people about it.
Good.
Very similar to what you got up there. And I get a full range from people saying, we're hearing all kinds of things that the real estate market's falling apart. To people saying, well, I'm not into buying and selling, so I'm not really into keeping up with it.
Got it. All right, Frank, thank you for that. Anybody else have an opinion on that before we move on?
I just would rather not bring it up unless it's brought up, because the vast majority of the public is they don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I've had to address it, because it has been brought up, but
Okay. So far, as far as flying or dying, it's dying. Any other comments? And Sandra, I made you so maybe you can watch the folks logging in if I don't see. All right, let's get out and into the call. Let's talk in terms of what is on your mind today and who wants to go first. I have some seller and buyer objections for you, and then we can do some outbound calls. So you guys at the top, Susan, why don't you lead us off? I haven't heard from you a lot this week. You're always pretty good at outbound calls. So I would like to give you a little challenge, and that would be an objection at the table.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. So Susan, you're in California. You are at the table. And this is probably one thing you might want to work on, just knowing you a little bit from the past. Okay, we're at the table right now, and you are giving your listening presentation. And here's my objection. Let me get my watch going, stopwatch for a 2-minute conversation. Susan, I really don't like your suggested listing price.
I understand it, Denny. What price are you thinking of?
Well, you're saying that based on all these sales over here, that my house is going to be like 1.8. I think my house has 2 million written all over it.
I see. So, Denny, are you looking to sell your home sooner, or would you like to have the house sit on the market?
Oops.
Well, I don't have to give it away. I mean, I'd like to be able to decide 90 days.
Of course, Denny, and obviously, the higher the price, it's better for you and for me. So my objective is to get you the price that you want. However, if your price is so high, and going back to that triangle, I have a triangle that I use. If your price is this high, you're not going to get that many eyeballs in your home. So at what price point will you not be a seller?
Well, I think the conversation is, where should we position it now? I mean, Zillow has it at 2.1, so I think that's probably where we should be.
Absolutely. And you see Zillow, they don't come in and assess your property the way we do it. And so they will just give you an algorithm of what homes are selling in your neighborhood. So why don't we do this? Why don't we consider what you think the home prices would be, and based on the properties that I show you, the condition that they're at and the condition that you're at, unless you're willing to boost it up that much more, then we may be able to put the house on the market. And besides, Denny, when we put the house on the market, there are 3 outcomes. One is my phone doesn't ring and there's no one calling.
I'm going to stop you. You're at 2 minutes right now. Let me ask you that you might have brought that up to make my heart go pitter patter. However, you probably don't use it in your listing presentation.
I do.
Okay.
It's
So
actually in my listing presentation.
all right, so we're going to go through this again. Susan, how did you feel about that?
It's real. I actually had that objection before, but I am able to bring the price down. In fact, 2 listings now, They were thinking of 1.2, 1.3, and now brought it down to $1,090,000. That's one of them. And the other one, he wanted 1.4, I brought it down to 1.29.
Okay, anybody have feedback on her before I give her my feedback? I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions. No feedback? Sandra, any feedback?
No, I think Susan always does really good.
Thank you. I want feedback, guys. This is how I learned. That's why I'm here. Give me a true, honest opinion. Trust me, I get beat up all the time on the phone. You're not gonna hurt me.
Well, we're at the table, that might hurt more. All right, so I am going to end the listing conversation by saying, thanks, Susan. We're gonna sleep on it and we'll get back to you. The next call you get is from the seller saying, thanks, Susan, we liked you, but we've listed with another agent. And you would say what?
Oh, wow. I was wondering, what did you want to hear that you didn't get that from me?
Well, the agent didn't agree. The agent agreed that it wasn't unreasonable to start at 2.1, so we went with them.
I see. So you're looking at price at the end of the day, and honestly, the agent is going to tell you what you want to hear, and he's just going to waste your time. You see,
Okay.
Denny, at the end of the,
I'm going to stop you. Here's my question. Everyone out there that lists property. So this is a real scenario. Use your whatever price range you want. Your research will show you one thing, right? They may want something else, correct?
yes,
So Susan, may I ask you this question? Can you say with 100% certainty that seller would not get somewhere above what you want, or maybe even the number they want?
I'm not certain.
I'm sorry?
I'm not certain about that.
You're not certain, are you?
No, because there may be someone that's come in because of the condition, the location, they might want to put it all in. But
Then
my other question is,
why did you lose the listing? Because you got argumentative and you thought your number was right and their number was wrong.
you're right about that. You're right about that.
So may I demonstrate how I would go about this? All right, so now same scenario. You're saying okay, you take the seller's role, you want 2.1. The past sales are saying maybe 1.8, whatever, 1.85. All right, are you saying then, Susan, based on what your research is and what you feel your home is worth 2.1, that if we were to start at 2.1 today, are you ready to list with me?
Sure.
All right, now what have I just done right there?
You got my agreement to
All
list with
right,
you.
I'm going to knuckle bump. I have now become their agent, right? Versus us having kind of a boxing match, one side wins, one side loses. I am now going to work with them. Why? Because I asked Susan this question. Does she know for sure that it would not sell higher than the past sales show her? Does she know for sure that the seller won't get 2 million, 2.1? That's a big fat no. So we do not know what top market value is until we expose it. I would love to get you guys into your DNA to quit dying at the listing table because you think you know what it's going to sell for. You do not. And if anything, the COVID years have taught us that our CMAs, our instincts, our experience has been totally wrong. Now that we've knuckle bumped, now that we have the agreement. Well, first of all, before I go forward, anybody have a pushback? Have you ever walked away from a listing that you thought was overpriced and they either came down or it sold? Susan, you had a comment?
Yes, so because a lot of my calls, a lot of my clients are all expires. And usually they expire because the prices is too high and they're not getting anything. So what I do and tell them, hey, listen, you tried to sell at this XYZ, it didn't sell before for 30 days, 90 days, 120 days. How am I going to help you sell it at that price? You tried it once already. These
Well,
are facts.
all right, so hang on. All right, so I'm gonna go. So, but you have better marketing. You're a better agent. I think you have better communication skills. I think it was in the hands of the wrong agent. How do you handle it? Anyone?
You know, I Let me, depending on the personality and all, I might handle it a little bit different way. When somebody's overpriced, I would start asking questions. You know, what information do you have to support it? What's
Right, yeah.
important for you?
Hang on,
And
hang
then,
on. This is role play. Zillow says 2.1, Frank.
well, Denny, I can appreciate that. And would you agree with me that you would want buyers in to look at your home?
Yeah, sure.
So Denny, let me ask you a question. Besides Zillow, what other information do you have that supports the price you're looking at?
My fortune cookie I got last night.
All right, that's great. Fortune cookies are always correct. And Denny, if we were to price your house just a little bit below it and drew a whole message,
Stop. Why are you fighting me?
I'm not fighting you.
Yes,
I'm
you
just
are.
asking a question.
You are trying to pull me down. Why?
So are you wanting us just to go ahead and agree to your number, get the listing, and then have the conversation like, okay, permission to speak frankly, we've got our number. Here's the 3 outcomes that are going to happen. Is that what you're wanting us to get to?
Yeah, but yes, that's where we're going to go, Sandra, because we've worked on this before. But here's the first thing I want you to know. You're going back to the position like you know what it's going to sell for. You do not.
The market has told them. The market has spoken.
The
That's
market.
the way I see it. The market has spoken.
Well, okay, I got that. If it's not been on the market before, can you say, now it's a little bit different if it was an expired listing, a little bit different. However, if it's not been exposed to the market, can you say 100%, Allie, is it Allie? Yeah, Allie, that it won't sell at that number?
No.
No, we
Then
can't say
why-
100%.
Stop fighting with them.
I stopped. You got onto me so much, I stopped. So I give the range and let them choose the number. And then we get into the 3 outcome conversation.
I don't even give the range because they may want something above the range. The only thing here, guys, hear this. Means I want you guys to get this in your bones, because when the light bulb goes off, you'll be brilliant or more brilliant. There's 3 things we know: what is sold, what's on the market, and market trends. So when you say here are the things that have sold, here are the homes that are available, our competition, where would you like to position it? Because if you say, Sandra, it's going to be I'll go to Houston prices, 800 to 950. You have given them a top number. Is it possible the range could be greater than 950?
Yes,
Why would you want to paint yourself in that corner?
we don't.
Or you don't give them a range?
Well, no, not anymore now. Not anymore. No range for me.
I know. No, home on the range. No more ranges. So hear me. This is the way it goes. Even if it's been expired, even if they wanted 900, it's been on the market for 900, and you go in an expired listing and they say no, I think it's really the agent. It was a knucklehead. All right. So now the probability of the market is spoken. So I'm going to go to you, Susan, and say, so look, I'll tell you what. So are you saying then you will relist with me at 900? Susan, you're muted. Yeah.
Sure.
You're an expired, it was on the market 6 months at 900, no price changes. You want me to take it at 900. Now I know most likely the market is saying no on that. However, if you say yes to that question, I said, okay, knuckle bump. Sandra gave you a little peek into what I'm going to do. Do you mind if I tell you what will happen next? And then I'm going to go through the 3 outcomes, and you guys have seen this before. I have it here right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I may go back. And now notice I've already got the commitment. Here's the thing I want you to get through your mind. Number 1, you don't know what it's going to sell for. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Number 2, once you give them the commitment and you're talking to them as their agent, it's no longer, I'm going to get your butt down. If it's the last thing I do, is it more likely they might be more cooperative in the agreement to listen to you?
Mhm.
And even if they don't, if you list it on their number and there's outcome one, low to no showings, you follow up in a week or two, you are beginning then to get them into reality. My whole thing is this. If you don't know where the top market value is, why? That means you don't know where it isn't either.
So can I, when we go into, typically when we get that pricing conversation, I ask them, what are they trying to net? So we go down like, what do they owe and what's the net amount? Then I say to them, okay, in order to sell this, you get this. And if we come down, let's say 900, let's say the average price for that area is about like, let's say 800, right? So we're $100,000 above the market. And I would show them, okay, at 900, this is what you're gonna get, but you didn't have anyone calling you and they didn't sell. Then I say, how about at 850 or 849.9 at $50,000 difference? Perhaps maybe we might want to get you may get there. So I use this, like I would lower the price and show them the dollar amount. If 50,000 to prevent you from accepting or putting the house on the market and getting exposed, maybe that's a different story, right? Do you see where I'm coming from? Like I do a price adjustment based on what they want versus what they actually owe and what their outcome is. If they're underwater, I cannot do anything. Then they're gonna have to sell no matter what. But if it's the greed of $100,000, they're just gonna sit on the market. And I would use that pitch. You're helping other people sell their home and not yours.
Well, I got that. I mean, I know all the cliches, but do you know for a fact it won't sell for $100,000 more?
I don't know for a fact, but I want to walk them down the path. Hey, there may be a price adjustment. And this is what I pitch. Okay, we're gonna put the house on the market for the first 2 weeks. If the first 2 weeks we're not selling for 900, let's do an adjustment.
I understand now what Denny's doing. Get the relationship. Now you're working together, and then you can make adjustments easier. And when they're committed to you, and you're committed to them, it's not a they struggle. That's what I believe Denny's getting at.
The best thing, yes, thank you, Frank. And we'll go on another role play. The best example that I can think of that's non-real estate related is your doctor or your dentist or anybody, any professional that wants to give you advice. They're not going to get you down in the hammerlock and make you do it. My dentist didn't make me get my tooth fixed when he said I should. He said, okay, well, sooner or later, the tooth is going to let go and you're not going to be happy. Well, he was right. When I was ready, I did it. So basically, what I'm saying is this, and tell me if you guys get this. Give them the benefit of the doubt because it's their number. 8 out of 10 times you may be right, but my question is, you might lose 2 or 3 listings out of 10 because you died on your principle when you could have had the listing and talked them down to get to reality. Which is more beneficial to you? I'm saying take the listing, agree to
Get the
work,
listing.
and then get them
Take
into
the listing
reality
and
by
work
using
on
the
it.
3 outcomes. All right. We beat that to death. All right, Sandra, let's see what you know.
Oh, what do you want?
You're at the table.
Oh, okay.
All right. We'll see how much you know. Let's go, Sherry. I don't know, that's not Sherry. Jenny. Jenny, can you come off mute?
Yes,
So you are the seller and you're not happy with the price she's given you.
okay.
All right, 2 minutes, go.
Yeah, Sandra, I mean, I like everything you did, but I don't think I agree with the number. I was hoping to get more. The other
Okay,
agent I
Jenny.
met with, she said that I can get at least 100,000 more.
Okay, I understand that. So Jenny, if we agree on the number that you're wanting today, are you ready to go ahead and sign the paperwork so we can start working with you?
Yes, I mean, honestly, I think you a better fit for the job, but like I said, the number needs to be higher.
I understand that. Tell me what's important about getting that higher number for you aside from netting more.
I mean, I was told that I can get a bigger number, and I want to get as much money as I can.
Okay, I totally understand. And to remind me, where were you guys moving to when you do sell?
California,
Awesome. Okay. So how soon do y'all need to be out there, Jenny?
well, I got a job there, so I prefer to be there within 2 months period.
Okay. So if you're in agreement, and I think that we are, let's go ahead and agree to the number that you're wanting, and then get the paperwork signed and then get you guys on the market. Now, are you okay with that right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you know, we're selling it at a number that is higher than what you said, right?
Right. Yes. Right. We're at $1 million. So
Okay.
great. I'm excited to work with you guys. Now, can I just explain to you a few things that potentially have the possibility of happening once we get on the market?
Hang on a minute. No, she's doing great. Now, that's not, I want you to be stronger about that. You mind if I tell you what will happen next? Because one of three things.
I know it's been a while since I've done this.
That's-
I got to
yeah,
get my cheat sheet.
you should be using on your listings. You guys write that down. Do you mind if I tell you what's going to happen next? Because this is 100% spot on.
Okay, Jenny, do you mind if I tell you what's going to happen next?
Okay,
Okay, so once we get on the market, we are going to have the property's going to either receive potentially no showings. We have the possibility of having showings and no offer, or the most awesome thing is we're going to sell your property. So,
Just pause for a second. Your thoughts.
Okay.
I'm asking people out there, can you think of any other outcomes than that? How many people have had listings and no showings? How many people had showings and no offers? How many people have had a listing and sold? Those are the only three outcomes. And everything will be based on its position. So if they want the position $100,000 higher, it's their number. The market will tell you if you're right or not. You don't have to be the bad guy. You're the good guy. Can you see the advantage of getting the listing now? She has to be moved in 2 months. That's called motivation. And sooner or later, if the market does not agree with her number, she has a decision to make. One decision, but two options. Don't
now
move.
Denny, would you, since there's a time frame on moving, would you go to like days on market and see? So Jenny, here, and about how soon do you think, according to based on days on market, we should reposition if in case we don't get it? Is that something you would do?
Well, okay, so
We'll have a 2 months period.
I would use, okay, so I would use her urgency, her 60 days. So for example, maybe even at the table, Jenny, so you say you need to be there in 60 days, or you need to be under contract in 60 days?
No, it needs to be closed in 60 days. Yes.
Okay, so then therefore that means we need a contract probably in 30 days or sooner, correct?
Yes.
So would that then also mean if notice this, if the market says no to this, our initial asking price, how quickly are you willing to reposition it? Because we only have a few weeks.
I mean, you're the expert. I'm gonna go off of what you say.
So that's the conversation I would have. But here's how I'm going to make a comment on days on the market. And I got my broker on who is an expert on metrics. Days on the market is way overrated. Days on the market is overrated. It doesn't take, whether it's 30 days or 24 days or 45 days. It only takes about 4 days to sell a home. It takes 60 days to get sellers into reality. Any thoughts on that, Jeff?
Well, yeah, Denny, if you look at the dashboard every morning, there's 1,000 new listings in the last 7 days and 2,100 price reductions. So the market is spending a lot of time and energy catching up and chasing the market down from where they started. I don't remember ever any time where there's twice as many price reductions as there are new listings. So I think that the days on market is people, the reason it's going up is people are chasing the market down.
Yeah, we're in Florida. We're probably, and I don't know this for sure, but I think we're probably one of the worst markets right now in the US.
Because we have too many properties that were put on there aspiring to get more. And they're just chasing the market down, or they're just not doing anything because they're wanting more money than they deserve.
So thank you, Jeff. So let's go in one more scenario on this. Let's say you have a listing. Does anybody have a listing that's been on the market and the seller is not cooperating with the market? Susan, well, I understand why you do. No, I'm kidding.
I did, but I actually, just as it was about to go expire, I'm in escrow. And that was, that was for a long time. He refused to go down in price because you need to net some dollar amount. And it's all paid for. He wants to net 3 million out of it.
Okay.
So it was just crazy. But finally I'm in escrow. Just at the 25th hour. That's the one I've been trying to fire him. I said, listen, I'm just gonna cancel, I really need to cancel. But lo and behold, it's about 4 months. It finally got into S4 after 4 months.
So what you're saying, he's starting to listen right now?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably his motivation. Does anybody have a stubborn seller? Let's do a stubborn seller scenario.
Well, Denny, I actually like that concept, but I just want to go back to days on market because I went on a listing appointment and I told him the house been on the market for so long and you listed this overpriced. And he go, I don't care about days on the market. That was his objection. He go, I don't care. The house would sell. And he doesn't want to listen to the days on the market.
Okay.
I want to see if you guys have any objection handle on that one.
Well, I would never, well, okay, so you're bringing up days on the market and he didn't want to hear it, right?
Right.
Okay, so why are you concerned about days on the market, Susan? I'm going, you're now the seller. Why are you not concerned about days on the market?
Because it's meaningless to me. The house is going to sell.
Okay, and how long has it been on the market?
The last time is 120 days.
And this time?
Well, I'm gonna prep the house and I'm gonna resell it. So I could care less days on the market. I owe XYZ and I need to, and this,
So he's hanging his hat on a certain number.
yeah.
How would you, and who wants to handle that as an agent? There's two things you think about right now. How do you handle a seller that is locked in on a number? The market's clearly saying no. And so who wants it? I need an agent. Jasmine, you're up. Everyone's got Sherry on there. I don't know. Anne Marie. Who else wants to play? Heather's at the bottom. We got Jeff Jones, my broker. I got so many autopilots. They don't even talk to me anymore.
I'll do it.
How can you play both parts?
You can't be both parts, Susan.
Okay.
I'll give a swing at it. So it's days on markets. Oh gosh. I'm actually dealing with this. I'm dealing with a very difficult seller right now, my son. And so, okay. So you don't care about it being on the market. Okay.
No.
Okay. So Susan, why is it not important to you about how long the house has been on the market?
Because I really don't care. I need to net this amount. And what does it concern me?
Well, there are times when properties sit on the market, they tend to pick up a stigma. There could be something wrong with it. So what I have seen, would it not be better for us to find a price that will get your home moved and yet still net you close to the same amount of money?
Now, how are you going to do that?
I'm going to lower the price just a little bit, but it will still be close to it. Not how much. What's the price point of the house?
1 million too.
Okay. So if we move it just $50,000, that's not going to be that big of a difference.
Yeah, 50,000 is nothing.
So, but even if we can move you down a little bit and still net you close to the same amount, would that work for you?
No, because I want to buy a house in Las Vegas for 850, and I need to have a little bit extra.
Well, that sucks.
So I think
How soon do you want to
like-
get to Vegas?
I wanted to move yesterday.
And why do you want to be in Vegas?
I pick a home and I'm tired of living in LA.
And so do you have to sell this to move to Vegas?
Yes.
What if the market never gives you that number? Are you prepared to stay for the rest of your life?
I'll just wait until I get my price.
Okay. And so when you do, if you have to wait for the market to go up to get your price, what happens to the price of homes in Vegas?
So, probably go up.
So if your house goes up and you finally get your number and the houses in Vegas go up, and basically you have no, it's a push, yet it's 3 years, what have you gained?
I see.
Let me ask, hang on, let me ask you this. Do you have Targets where you live? Target shopping centers or Target stores?
Yeah.
So what would you think if you saw somebody sitting in a parking lot with their fishing gear on, with their worm sitting in a parking lot, trying to catch a fish in the parking lot? What would you think?
Crazy.
I'm sorry?
They're crazy.
And how long would they have to wait for a fish to hop out of the lake somewhere, walk in and bite that worm?
For a very long time.
Kind of looks like us, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, I got one more for you. Here's just another way around a stubborn seller. So you went to motivation, whatever, what if you never get there? So let me ask you this, okay? So when you're going to Las Vegas, you see a house you like, but it's overpriced. You like it, but it's overpriced. What can the agent say to you to make you buy it at the overpriced number?
There's nothing they can say to make me buy it.
Well, why would you expect that to happen here then?
Love that. You know what, you're right.
And all right, so if you have a seller that is not in reality, is not motivated, and there's no ancillary benefit, meaning you've got a house, you can sit open houses, and you're meeting buyers, I'm just gonna say, why the hassle, why the stress? So I would say, if he checks all those boxes, Susan, I tell you what, I understand you have every right to ask what you want. However, I have a feeling if this keeps on, you'll probably be aggravated with me, and I'd rather part friends. And so I'd rather kind of like say goodbye to you, and so we're friends versus you get upset with me later. Is that okay?
Sure.
There you go. All right. This is your call, not mine. Somebody has
Denny,
gotta be.
I have a thought that's worked in some cases is to find out how much that costs them to carry the house every month. And understand that money they won't get back, and it's subtracting from what they're gonna make when they sell the house.
I like that, and that's an awesome technique, guys. However, is that logic or emotion?
Logic.
Right?
Logic.
No worries. And if someone's stubborn, not moving because they want a number, is that logic or emotion?
Motion.
That's emotion.
Motion.
So the issue is you could do that. However, my experience says if you apply logic to their emotion, many times it doesn't work. However, if you've got someone that is thinking, has a little bit more logic in them, Susan's client doesn't seem like they're logical at all. So yes, and particularly if that house is sitting empty, get that, Jeff, if that house is sitting empty and they already moved to Las Vegas, adds up fast. All right, who's next? Come on. Shannon, Jasmine, Jenny, anyone, let's go. I have to start talking to these autopilots. And they're AI.
Jenny has her hand up.
Jenny, I see that hand. What's up? What do you want to do? You're muted.
I have probably role played I get it when people want to rent the house versus selling. It's an expired call when they have a low rate, but when they don't, and they just don't believe they can get the number, how would you handle that?
So they have been renting it, right?
Well, they expired and they don't want to relisted because they think they cannot get that number. So
Okay,
they'll rather rent where, but then he has a lot of equity and it's just I don't know, how would you go about that?
anybody
And
want to
it's
handle that?
over $1 million property.
Okay, so you got somebody has expired listing, they want to sell, but it didn't sell. And they realize it's probably the number, and rather than lowering the price, repositioning, they want to rent it, correct?
Yes, and it's 1.5, so I just don't see why.
Okay. Well, who wants to handle that? So is that, Susan, was that a hand? Okay.
Yes, I'll answer that. I love that.
Before we start, let's strategize, okay? What's going on? What pretty much would you know already going in? Tell me let's talk, anyone can say, what do we already know pretty much for sure?
They're not living there.
It's empty, right? Okay, what else?
They've got equity.
They have equity,
They're frustrated.
yes,
An emotional tie.
They
yes.
were told the market is not there. Or at least they think that.
Here's what's going through my mind, guys. It's a $1.5 million house. What's the probability that's gonna rent and cash flow?
It's not gonna cash flow. And he's gonna destroy this house.
So basically, if they're going to rent it, they're gonna lose money every month. Right?
Yeah.
So if they're gonna, all right, so take that, Susan, so with that information, you're having they're out of town, because that's an investment property, so you're having this conversation on the phone. How would you have that conversation with Jenny, who is the stubborn seller?
Hey, Jenny, I understand that you don't think that your house is going to sell for 1.5. And how much are you thinking of renting it for?
Well, we already found a renter for $3,500.
Okay, so Jen, let's do the math. For $3,500 a month, and is your house all free and clear?
Yes.
Okay, so basically you're making $3,500 a month, and you're getting $42,000 a year. Just about, right?
Yeah.
And
something like that.
And if you're gonna net, or you're gonna sell at 1.5, let's say whatever price you get, it's 1.5 million, or if you bought it like $400,000, it's $1 million you're gonna get. How much do you think $42,000 per year will you become $1 million later? How much longer? How many years will it take?
Now, hang on, I'm gonna pause you.
I don't think I understand the
I don't
question.
understand that either.
Okay, so Jenny, if you could get that $1.5 million now, but yet you're only getting $42,000 a year, how long would it take you to get that $1 million?
I can get it at any time I decide to sell it because that's my equity, right?
Right? So $1 million,
Getting it more later.
right? But what's costing you now as far as taxes that you had to pay? And if there's something wrong with the house, what's that? How are you going to take care of that? And what are the expenses? These are unforeseen expenses. Have
So
you ever become?
You're going down, now, this is what Jeff was talking about. Jeff, let's break it down a little bit. So what is it costing them? They don't have a mortgage. You said, okay, so what is it costing them a month to own the house?
Let's say utility taxes for $1.5 million, and they have a lot of equity. Let's say it's about between insurance taxes, let's say about $1,200 a month.
$2,000 a month, how's that?
Okay, $1,200 a month.
But $2,000, it's $24,000 a year. However, you're forgetting something huge. Jeff, what are they forgetting?
Well, one of the things I can think about is the wear and tear on the house that they're gonna
That's
have to
one.
adapt to and deal with when they finally decide to put it back on the market. I've never seen a house that's been rented for a year or two look like it did when it was on the market to be resold.
Yes, she was talking about that. That's one. There's a big one, though. It's a big one. You guys, they have $1.1 million in equity.
Oh, and what
Well,
could
what
they
can
do
they
with
do
that
with it?
$1,000,000? Yeah.
What's the opportunity cost on the $1,000,001?
A
You
lot.
follow me? If he
Yeah.
put that in the bank at 5%, that's $60,000. So they're losing $60,000 on the safe investment at 5%, and they're only getting $40,000 in rent. All right, so they're down 10. We talked $2,000 a month for insurance and all the other stuff. That's 24. Now they're down 34,000. Now you bring in the wear and tear and having to fix the plumbing and other things, right?
Yeah,
Is it possible that they could be losing $40,000 a year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
easy.
Y'all see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if they're gonna rent it for a year, they're gonna lose 40. And there might be more, and then there's market risk. I mean, we're seeing values soften. Maybe values are gonna soften. I mean, they could be out 50,000 or 80,000. So that means if they lowered their price today by 40,000, it would be the same as them written it out, assuming there's no market risk. They're losing 40 a year anyway. So if you're gonna lose 40, you might as well make it the least painful, where you don't have any risk, where they burn the house down, or you end up having to have squatters in there and you can't get them out. So what do you think of
So
that?
you would use that as a hook to say, well, you've got some equity. What would you do with it if you were to sell the house?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, most likely they're not gonna put it in the CD. When you have that $1 million, what are you gonna do with it? We're gonna buy another investment property. Oh, I see. So then that we're gonna pay off our credit cards. Oh, that's good. They're probably charging 20%. You see? Write that word down. It's the opportunity cost of equity.
No, it's true.
So in the same scenario, but the seller, I mean, the potential seller said, well, my interest rate is 2.5,
Okay?
but she still have a balance. How do you approach that?
Anyone want to take it? I don't want to have to do all the talking. I'm gonna start taking an offering.
Susan, would you repeat that? I didn't quite catch it.
I don't want to sell. I've got a 2.5% interest rate on my mortgage.
I can do that, Susan.
I'm sorry?
I'll take it.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
We're going back now. Okay, Susan, so you're saying the reason you do not want to sell is because of the 2% interest rate that you have. Other than that, is there anything else that stops us from selling your home today?
good isolation, very good.
Well, yeah, because I want to move back eventually.
You want to move back into this house?
Yes, eventually.
Got it. And now you're planning on purchasing another house in the meantime?
I will purchase another house. I'm moving there, so I'm gonna use this as a rental.
So Susan, if I show you the way that you, by selling this house, we're at the table? I cannot hear you.
I lost you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were coming in and out.
Yes, so Susan, if you were able to sell this house and yet cash buy another house without having any payments, is that something you would be open to? At least hearing about?
Sure.
Okay, so we're on the phone, right?
Yeah, it's okay. You can be on the phone.
Yeah,
Okay, so how about we sit down and talk about it? Are you available today at 4?
All right, so you got the appointment. Now you're sitting down. Let's talk about it. You got 30 seconds.
So yeah, I mean, do you have any equity at the house currently?
yeah, I have about 300.
And then the new home that we're purchasing, what is it worth right now?
So the scenario, I would bought another, I would purchase the house now, right? And then I'm going to rent out the current home that I have, but I don't want to sell because it's 2.5%. And I only have about $300,000 equity.
Okay, so you have $300,000 equity. What would you do with that 300,000 if you were to get it?
I don't know. I'm just going to maybe pay down this mortgage.
Hang on a second, I'm gonna call time here, because I'm getting a little lost. I thought you were gonna use it, right, so. You don't wanna sell the house, it's 2.5% interest rate, because it's someday you wanna move back into it, right?
Mhm.
Where are you living now?
I live in Mission Viejo.
Well, I mean, you already have a house, so you've already.
Oh, I'm on my new home, yeah.
You already bought a new home,
Mhm.
okay, so let me ask you, when will you wanna move back into it?
Oh, maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay, now the 2.5%, what is the cost of ownership of your home that you want to keep with a 2.5% mortgage?
Right now, I'm paying $2,700.
20, that's for your mortgage, right? What about taxes, insurance, maintenance?
Yeah,
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah,
it's PITI, yes. It's everything.
it's not everything, that's, what, all right, so what is your, let me ask this. What is your mortgage amount?
2,500.
No, your principal balance.
Oh, my principal is about 500.
Okay, and then what is your home worth?
950.
What did I just do right there? She's sitting on $450,000 of debt equity. That has to go into the equation. Assuming a flat market. So, all right, so she's got, I don't know if you could have a $500,000 mortgage even at 2.5%, the PITI at 2,700, but let's just say it's 3,000. What would the home rent for?
3,500.
All right, so you're not gonna make any money on the rent because you'll have maintenance, correct?
Well, I'll be making $500.
Well, that's gonna be probably going as a toilet needs to be fixed or something breaks or whatever. Let's just assume it's not gonna make any money. It's covering all the costs. You got a tenant in there, no vacancy, right?
Right.
So what happens? What will you do then if you decide not to move into it later? You've got $400,000 that's not earning any money if the market's flat. So 4 times 5, that's 20, that's $25,000 a year you're losing. Are you okay with that?
No, what do you mean by I'm gonna lose money?
Because you've got $400,000 or $450,000 of equity. If you put that in the bank at 5%, that's $25,000 or $30,000 a year that you're just blowing. The rent's covering the house, but you're losing money on your debt equity. So
I see.
every year you rent, you're losing 30 grand. Are you okay with that?
No.
All right, then what are the options? You see how I walked her through that?
Yeah. I like that.
Don't forget about debt equity.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
time for one more. Throw me something. Throw me a hard one. Dare you to trump me.
Okay.
Can Jeff throw something at you since he's your broker?
Yeah. But he's a teddy bear. Throw me an objection.
That's something. I don't want to talk too much, but I have one seller insisted that he needs to put an air conditioning in the house, so the house is worth more.
Okay,
And I'm looking at like, this is sink cost. You're not going to get it back. It's not going to make or break a deal. It's worth a house that has to sell and pricing. So that's why I'm struggling with one particular potential seller.
all right, I'll do it. Give me a minute. All right, so how much is the cost of the air conditioner?
It's $8,000.
8,000? What's
He's
the price?
trying to replace the HVAC, so the furnace And then to add the air conditions and the additional $8,000 because they're actually doing the work.
So are you doing this for you or are you doing it to sell the house?
He's doing it to sell the house.
Or I'm role playing with you.
Okay, I'm doing to sell the house.
And what's the price of the house?
$1.2 million.
It's not on the market yet, right?
No,
Why are you fighting with him on it?
oh.
I wouldn't
Because
fight.
okay, because he wants net a certain dollar amount, but he wants to fix the house up, but thinking that having an AC is gonna help sell the house.
I don't know. I live in Florida and I would just say in $1 million house, an AC is almost more important than a toilet.
It doesn't get that hot. I mean, it does get hot here, but the temperature is pretty temperate. It doesn't get that
Yeah,
hot.
but why, like Denny said, why fight him on that? If that's what he wants to do, then
So
let him
if,
do it.
so he doesn't even have money to fix the house, right? But he wants to utilize a program that we can give him to fix up the house, but he's thinking of $8,000. Because if you're gonna spend $8,000, you're not gonna get that at the end. The back
Maybe,
end.
maybe not, but in $1 million house, I would think if he wants to do it, he's gonna give you the listing, just ask him. Well, what if it doesn't move the needle on your price and you just wasted $8,000? How will you feel?
Well, that's exactly why I want you to tell me exactly how much I should get for this house.
Well, that's like asking me what Powerball numbers are gonna come up on Saturday.
Got that.
So it's a risk. I would recommend you not do it unless we get feedback that I don't want to buy this house because there's no AC. So how about we expose it first and then decide?
Okay, I like that. But what happened? Well, I need to make a decision now because I'm putting a furnace in there, and it's gonna cost me $8,000 more just to add air conditioning.
You know what? Do what you want to do. That's totally up to you. I don't know that we are good enough, you guys, to determine what $8,000 would do in a $1 million sale. I think it's like picking the fly poo-poo out of the pepper.
You think that whatever he wants to do, have him do it. But then because he needs to net a certain dollar amount, but if you're gonna put the cost in there, he's not gonna get that much back.
In my opinion, if he has to net a certain amount, the $8,000 is not going to affect him one way or the other.
Okay, I see it. I see the point.
Normally, what we're dealing with, and I think you guys would agree, they want to redo the kitchen. They're going to put 30,000 or 35,000 in it. Now we're talking significant money, but 8 isn't significant.
Got it.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being on. Anybody have an aha to make me feel good?
The opportunity cost, the opportunity equity cost.
Opportunity of debt equity. Yes. Anybody else?
And debt equity, yeah.
Yeah.
Denny?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
They pushed the NAR changes back to August 17th. That's the date that everything's gonna cut over for NAR for all of the commission changes and agreements to procedure. So instead of mid-July, it's been moved to mid-August, just so everybody can relax a little bit.
Yeah, well, maybe I got, thanks for the information. This reminds me of signing a contract for a new build. Yeah, the home is supposed to be ready July 1st. Oh, no, now it's August 15th. Oh, no, it'll be December 31st. Yeah, all right, guys, thanks so much. Thank you for your input. And all those
Thank you,
little,
Denny.
I don't know
Have a
how
good
to say
weekend.
thanks to the otter pilots, you little AI guys, thanks for being on.
Thanks,
Thank
Denny.
you.
Bye, y'all.
Did you take also for
Thank you, Denny. Thank you, brother.
What?
Thank you. You were fantastic as always.
All right, man, Kev, thank you. Bye.
And Glenda's here with me. She thinks you're
Hi,
fantastic.
Denny. Good job.
Bye.
Bye. You're fantastic, dude. Thank you.
You're too kind.